Okay, hello all. Thank you for joining today's special webinar entitled Community Connections, Cool Savings, AC Energy Efficiency, and Cost-Effective Cooling. Today, you will learn about how to lower your bills and even increase your home value by elevating your AC energy efficiency. Today, we have some special guests, and we'll get to them in a second. So as temperatures warm up, we're glad to have you all here tuned in today to hear about this timely topic. In a moment, our panelists will present some great information and answer some of your questions. I'm the host, Rick Stevens, and I'll be moderating and participating in today's session. Before we begin, there are going to be a few housekeeping rules I need to cover. Firstly, the webinar is going to be recorded, and we're going to be streaming this live on Facebook. So if you haven't yet, get some people and join in. Today's session is meant to be interactive, so we want to hear from you guys. To do this, we're going to put your questions in a chat box for those of you tuning in via Zoom, and in the comments section for those tuning in on Facebook. Thanks to those who've already sent in questions. Our panelists will be answering them shortly. Finally, if we're unable to answer all of your questions, what we're going to ask you to do is we're going to set up a follow-up email with answers for Facebook listeners to check the comments for instruction on how to send us email. An email will be included. And lastly, we'd like to thank especially our partners, Florida Power and Light Company, for today's webinar, which is being hosted by the American Lung Association. All right, so now you've been wondering how we can save energy with our AC management, how it impacts lung health. Generating electricity and other sources of energy creates air pollution by reducing energy use. You can also improve air quality, curb greenhouse gas emissions, and ultimately protect you and your family from air pollution. And together, through collective action, we can all help improve air quality by taking meaningful steps in our daily lives to reduce our use. As Floridians, we understand that staying cool can be a challenge because it's getting close to summer, it's going to be warm, but it doesn't have to be challenging. We have two panelists here today, special guests, who are here to provide some information and tips on how we can become more energy efficient. So I'd like to introduce them. So first we have Monica Landrini, and she is a leader in residential energy efficiency programs from Florida Power and Light, encompassing programs such as HVAC rebates, building smart homes, and more. With 15 years of dedicated service, she has consistently worked towards enhancing energy efficiency in 2024. More than 140,000 homes benefit from various efficiency programs offered by FP&L. Second, we have Ashley Ballio, and Ashley's from South Florida Real Estate Brokerage, and she specializes in residential property sales, and that was founded in 2016. She most recently surpassed $1 billion in sales. Wow, that's awesome. She's doing great. Her daily focus is supporting agents, clients as they navigate buyers' expectations for modern, efficient housing against the pressures of current inventory and affordability. From her personal position as investor, buyer, seller, owner, citizen, and professional, Ashley looks forward to discussing how air conditioning and energy efficiency can impact our residential sales. So a little bit about myself. My name is Rick Stevens. I'm a captain in the fire department. I've been a firefighter for 24 years. I'm on our special task force team, and we usually get kind of busy during hurricane season. And anytime there's any type of tragedy, most recently here in South Florida was Surfside. So we responded to that as well. And that was pretty challenging for us and something that we all felt through the community. So for our first question, we're going to go to Monica. So as far as choosing air conditioning unit with the right efficiency and SEER rating, maybe you can explain what SEER means because I had to look that up. It can dramatically impact energy consumption and cooling effectiveness. So can we talk about that?
Sure, Rick. So, and thank you for your service, by the way.
Thank you.
So the SEER is what we call the seasonal energy efficiency ratio. Basically means how effective is your HVAC related to energy consumption. The higher the SEER, the better for energy efficiency. And ultimately, this leads to lower energy bill. So if you have a SEER 20, it's more energy efficient than a SEER 15, which is the code right now. So basically, that's what the SEER level means.
And basically, we can expect lower monthly costs throughout the year.
Absolutely.
And so what should people look for in energy labels and ratings? How do they determine that? What would they look for?
So before going to that one, the first point, how to affect the energy. So normally here in Florida, in the summer is when we crank up the AC the most. At that point of time, if you put the AC very, very low, then your energy bill is going to be higher. But we cannot avoid to say what happened in Pensacola this year, that we had a winter. So same thing. If in the winter you put your AC very hot or warm because you're cold, that's happened with the snow, the snowstorm, then again you will be having higher bills. And it can be in this period of time, like in the winter or in summer, it can get up to 40% of the cost of the energy in your house. Okay. So you were asking the labels.
Yes.
All the equipments should have yellow and black energy guide label. That label normally indicates the SEER label that I mentioned before. And also it has a number that estimates how much you are going to be paying in a year in energy related to the AC. Of course, this is effective of how the family is changing the thermostat. So if you want to be, let's say, at 70 degrees all day long here in the summer, your energy bill is going to be higher of what the energy tax says, the energy label says in the equipment. So it all depends on how people is using the AC in the houses.
So what about B? Like at night, I like to bring it down a little bit. So I might.
That's okay. So normally what we do, what we recommend is that we have to be, when you are out of the house, to put it at 78. That's
Got
what
it.
we recommend. But when you get home, then you can crank it down and put it to the level that you want to be while you're home, it's 75, let's say. When you go to bed, I put it at 72 in my house, but it will be only the period that you are going to bed because you are with the covers and everything. So that's fine. The important thing is do not keep it at the same temperature that you have it when you go to bed during the whole day that nobody is home. So you can
Got it.
use, the fans in the ceiling to cool it down more. And if you are not in the house, so you can put it up like to 78 degrees.
May not be anything crazy, but what about people who have pets at home? Do we need to leave the same,
Um,
or it's not a big issue for
so
pets?
yeah, but 78 is not a bad temperature. I mean, they can survive with the 78 degrees. It's not bad. I mean, that's okay. That's perfectly fine for them.
Okay, thank you. Learned
Okay.
something new today.
Yep.
So actually, next question is going to be for you. So we'd love to hear about market trends in home selling and buying regarding HVAC systems, especially since probably the most expensive things, one of the most expensive things you're going to buy for the home.
Yes, thank you so much, Rick. It is certainly one of the most expensive appliances that you can invest in, but I would encourage sellers specifically to make sure that they're always providing an up-to-date and solid product, because what's happening in our market is affordability is the biggest concern. So if you happen to be one of the lucky few who can qualify for a mortgage that allows you to purchase a property, you don't want an unanticipated bill, or potentially anticipated, because the home wasn't cared for in the right way. So the standards that we see is less than 5 years old. Buyers are excited about that because it tends to be a more efficient product based on improved standards. And we expect that it's going to have at least another 5 years of life. Even on an inspection, past 10 years, we don't consider that useful life on an air conditioning unit. And buyers tend to take that into consideration on their offer price, and even at which homes are more attractive. And it's never a dollar for dollar investment. So I don't believe in using percentage rules, because some houses cost 300,000, some cost 3 million. This is South Florida. So instead of a percentage, we like to say every penny you invest in making the property more attractive for the next owner, if it's a fundamental thing like the AC or the roof, you're going to get your dollar per dollar back, because buyers simply won't be interested if you haven't done the right things to give them a good product. There's enough inventory right now where homes that haven't been cared for, where the ACs are dated or even not maintained, they're being rejected by buyers right now.
Are there any other market trend that you're seeing with AC, especially with older homes?
Very much so. And especially with older homes, when you put in a highly efficient new system, but it's old duct work, that's not necessarily an ideal solution either, because the newer and more efficient systems actually require larger capacity ducts to be operating at the greatest possible efficiency. So we've seen issues where people take shortcuts. Maybe they don't get a reputable installer. They don't partner with the right company who's guiding them on what that new system is going to need to be optimal. And that actually can lead to other issues like mold and wear and tear, kind of the same thing as
Mold.
people turn their house up to 82. That's my least favorite thing as an agent. 78 is that magic number, regardless, never hotter, not in Florida, because you might think you're saving a little bit on your energy bill, but you're going to be paying thousands to clean it up because it's a shortcut on home maintenance.
Good to know. Good to know. So this is for Monica and Ashley. So in addition to purchasing a new unit, we know that regular maintenance helps our AC unit operate more efficiently. So extending its lifespan, like you mentioned before, and reducing energy costs. So let's talk about that. So how can homeowners strike a balance between comfort and energy? And you kind of touched on it early, and comfort and energy conservation. To any one of you two.
So
To Monica. Start with you,
Okay,
Monica.
so the balance between comfort and energy saving, it as I mentioned before, it depends on the house, the family that is there. So as when I said, if you're in your house and you would like to be more comfortable, probably you need to turn on the fans. You have it at 75, you turn on the fans, you dress lightly. You don't have to be in the summer with a sweater or anything. But those are the type of things that can help you to avoid having a high bill. If you are in the winter, I mean, everybody should have like a sweater or something more weather related that keeps you warm, and so you don't have to put the AC or the heater at that time that low, so everybody is warm. You don't have to be in a swimming suit in the house. So pretty much those are the things that we need to keep control when setting up the thermostat in the houses. And the SEER level, that's very important when a unit is purchased. Code says 15, but reality says that the higher you go, the better. And it's not that much more costly, but you know, it's better the higher the SEER.
Okay, and for Monica again, what are the key maintenance tasks homeowners can do themselves to help keep the units running efficiently, and how frequent should they do this?
Very
Like,
important. So normally we have to replace the filter every month. That's
oh,
what we
I'm
normally
bad at that
do.
one. I'm bad at that one. I'm guilty as
So
charged.
you will encounter that in some point, if you don't do it, you will need to call your AC maintenance guy because your unit is not performing well, you have some issues, and so on and so forth. So it's recommended to do it once per month. It can be the ones that you trash, or it can be the ones that you can water with a hose and you can clean them up. Doesn't matter as long as you
Doesn't
have
matter.
those filters replaced. 1 cup of bleach every month in the drain. That's also very, very important.
Okay.
Normally, the main issue here in Florida is that drainage that we
It gets
have,
clogged sometimes.
it gets clogged with algae. So if you put a cup of bleach every month in that drainage, it keeps it running smoothly, so you won't have that issue there later on.
Good to know. Okay, yeah,
Yep.
I had some drainage clog issues, and
Mhm.
what I do now, I just buy the box of the filters, because trying to get one every month,
That's okay.
it could be tough, and I always forget the size, so I take a picture and just make
Right,
sure I have the right one. All
right.
right, so let me go back to my list of questions, just make sure I keep it on track here. So another question, is a professional service recommended if you maybe just somebody who's not comfortable doing things like that on your own? Do you recommend maybe calling someone? Monica? Or
So I'd be happy to take that one.
It's
And this
okay.
is the age of YouTube, where you can go on a preventative service plan with any reputable AC contractor. And that is my personal preference, just because I want to know it's handled at a high level. But as a homeowner, there is a reasonable expectation that you come alongside them and learn about adding the bleach to the drain lines. And
Yeah.
this is the age of convenience. Why aren't you on a filter subscription service if you know that
Right.
we're not gonna keep it top of mind? When it shows up at your front porch, that's your clue that it's time to go switch out your filters.
that makes sense, and that's a great idea. I just did it with my cold plunge. So they send the filter, they send the chemicals and everything. So it's a no-brainer. It just
Mhm.
shows up at your door. So I guess we're moving on to you, Ashley. So a question for you. So as far as investment properties or vacation homes, maybe Airbnbs, what AC maintenance strategies do you recommend to keep energy costs down while ensuring tenant comfort?
It's 100. The answer here is, again, technology has made this all so much more achievable for even rookie investors. And it's smart thermostats that are linked to your phone so that you can understand how the property is being protected. Whether you're a short-term renter or even a long-term hold, we put stipulations in our contracts about, for long-term leases, how we expect the tenant to maintain that property as far as temperature expectations. Because we have had investors lose several $1,000s having to clean mold and ducts simply because it was a business person that was occupying that property as a tenant. And they were a great tenant in every capacity, except for they had the bad habit of turning the thermostat up to 82 when they traveled. That was enough where, even though it was a completely new system and new ducts, after 2 years of occupancy, there was mold in the ducts again. And it was a $1,600 clean out, which... So these lessons learned are very expensive, but the recommendations that FPL and Monica have, they're based on really good experience.
So 78 regardless.
Yes, it's a little bit of prevention, and the money invested to protect your units, to buy the right equipment, to trust a reputable installer. All that money is so well spent, because when something goes bad, it is so much more expensive.
Right.
If I may add something to that comment, not everybody knows this, but the HVAC, they do not only cool your house, they also remove the humidity of the houses. And everybody knows this, that if you're in a house that has AC, normally you lay something that is wet or something, and the day after is going to be dry, because that's one of the functions of the ACs. So for the snowbirds, when they leave the houses, we recommend to have a 78. You need that AC to turn on so it will dehumidify the house. It's not for the cooling, it's for the dehumidification. And that's when the mold is coming if it doesn't turn up.
Okay, nice to know. Okay, so as far as rebates and incentives that people can make for upgrading to a more efficient AC unit, more affordable, resulting in significant savings. Can you share some information on what rebates that our viewers can take advantage of? So the question
Sure.
from Monica, so where can people find this information?
Sure. So all the information that we have is in our webpage, fpl.com/savings. So customers can go there and read about these and all other programs that we have with rebates in energy saving. However, we are providing currently up to $2,150 in rebates. If the equipment that is being installed is SEER 16 or plus. As I mentioned before, the code right now is SEER 15, but if you install SEER 16 or plus, it's going to be in the program. And most importantly, it has to be installed by a participating independent contractor, also located in our webpage, and they can offer the rebate to you.
Is there any eligibility requirements, like you mentioned before, the 16 and the 15? Is there anything else
The
we need to look
16,
for?
it has to be SEER 16 or plus. The full house has to be in an air conditioning, and it has to be new nor refurbished. And participating independent contractor has to install it.
Okay, so back to Ashley. So how does a new unit tie into rebates for home purchasers? How can that be helpful?
So the year that you put the unit in, so I'm, first of all, not a qualified CPA, so run this up with your accountant. But there's a $600 cap to rebate, or a 30% of price for the year you install as an available rebate. So if you are making any of these improvements, save all documents that you've invested into protecting your property value. All of that can be applied against your tax bills at the end of the year to hopefully make real estate your best investment in reducing your tax liability. That's why people love real estate.
Okay, I like that. So with
And if it's a heat pump, it can be up to $2,000.
Okay. So with growing emphasis on sustainability and buyers actively looking for energy efficient cooling systems, and how can sellers highlight these features in their listings?
The first thing every buyer looks at is roof age, air condition age. People water heater too, but we see more flexibility on the water heater because it's not as expensive an appliance. But those are the top 3 questions we get. And other than, is there impact protection? If you don't have those forefront in your listing, people assume it's bad news. And again, you're not going to perform as well in the market. That's what every buyer wants to know right now, because they're the big after purchase expenses that they could anticipate.
All right, so Monica, next question for our audience who would like to learn about energy monitor and management. So can you tell us more about FPNL's energy management tool and how it assists homeowners in understanding energy consumption?
Sure. And I think that we have a video. There you go. Perfect. Thank you. So the Energy Manager is a tool that any customer can log in and use it to learn how to save energy. So it will show you the cooling, laundry and cleaning, water heating, and everything that you are using in your house. And you can forecast your savings with the energy simulator so you can know how much you have been expending. Then you can also track your energy usage during the month and see when is that we are using the most so you can adapt what happened that I was using so much. So this is something that can help everybody to know the cost that is going to be paying in their houses.
Awesome. Do we have, I'm not sure where we're on time, but we may have some questions for the audience. If not, we'll send you a link to where you can send those questions. And well, I guess that's all we have time for today. Thank you guys for the questions, and sorry if we're unable to get to you. Also, we do have time, so we can possibly go to those questions. All right, here we are, just kind of filtering these through here. All these questions for Ashley. Are there specific demographics, first-time buyers, retirees that prioritize energy-efficient homes? What are the most common misconceptions buyers have about energy-efficient upgrades?
So I do believe that the first-time home buyer does look at this with more discernment than maybe a more established buyer, and it comes down to affordability. And that's also the misperception, is that you can't do these in an affordable fashion. At the end of the day, it costs you more money to make the shortcut decisions when it comes to home maintenance, home value. So as a first-time home buyer, I think they should be asking for concessions towards improving the property. With the recent real estate climate, there's a lot of credits coming back from sellers to buyers for these key improvements, and that can happen in the negotiation. So as a first-time home buyer, if there's something that is not attractive about the property, we are not in a COVID market where these homes are flying off the shelves. So if there's something you don't like about the property, ask for it. Ask for the credit, get it pushed through. Not only are you going to have more affordable insurance if your home is shown to be properly improved into code, but you're also going to have better long-term enjoyment. So I think people need to realize that a lot of these very reasonable improvements, if you can't pay for them yourself, ask for them to be paid for by the seller. And it's worth the money to do it because of the long-term savings of having quality installations in your home.
Okay. I'm not sure if we have any more questions here. Let me just kind of like scan through here to see if we have any. Okay, here's another one. This is more for Monica. And this is from, okay, how does investing in energy efficient appliances contribute to overall grid stability and sustainability? That's for Monica.
So all the appliances that use energy, absolutely at the end, if you use Energy Star appliances, that will help more for that. In that energy management that we were showing before in the system, you can see, depending, you have to fill out a survey, how many people's in the house, how many showers per day, and which equipments do you own, and things like that. And it can tell you what is that you're spending in each of those. So normally speaking, majority of the equipments that spend the most energy is the residential HVAC. Second is the water heater. Third is the pool pump. And then probably the kitchen, depending on how many times you cook, okay? But it's important to know that everything that is producing cold or heat, TVs, radios, PlayStation, games, is not that much what it uses. So it's everything that changes the temperature. So heating, cooling, the dryer, not the washer, but
No?
yes, everything that is cooling or heating. So majority is that.
Okay, well, thank you. I think that's pretty much all of the time we have questions for. So again, I want to thank FPNL for sponsoring this webinar along with the American Lung Association. And hope that I was able to answer most of your questions. Okay, I'm going to thank you again for attending today's American Lung Association webinar. Thank you again, Monica and Ashley, for your insightful tips and discussions today. And Blue Realty, we were sure to click on the links and make sure you hit those links and check out Blue Realty and also FPNL and Alto's go to their website and learn about more energy saving tips. Okay, guys, until the next time, thank you all for coming. And remember, we can improve life one breath at a time. And thank you guys and have a great day.